last night.
It's one of those days, and we're so glad that Sean is up here because usually when he started here, he's in phase 3 of the sleep pattern.
Yeah.
So we're good. Couple things we want to mention, and that is that we expect the heaviest stuff to come in between 8 and 11. And one of the things that we look at as we're planning the rest of this forecast is the snow ratio, right, Lindsey?
Right, so we wanted to kind of break down what this looks like. So typically, if weather models are showing us about 1 inch of liquid precip at a temperature of 32 degrees, that would give us a pretty standard 10-to-1 ratio. For 1 inch of liquid, we get 10 inches of snowfall. But with temperatures that have been a little warmer, we've got more moisture in some of these snowflakes. So say we have a ratio under 10-to-1, say 7-to-1, well, that's only going to give us about 5 to 8 inches of snow, so a lower amount the warmer the temperature is. So as we predict later on today, as the temperature starts to cool, we're going to see these snow ratios change. So that will essentially increase how much snow we will eventually measure, because it's been very wet so far. That's why the snowfall totals haven't been all that impressive, but really we're just kind of getting started here. Radar looping over the past hour shows us this band that's been setting up along the I-70 corridor from Terre Haute to the south side of Indy, with that rain mixing into the southern extent of the state, where temperatures have been ranging anywhere between about 34 and 35 for places like Bedford and Seymour. Now, this storm system just getting its act together. We're essentially in what we call warm sector of this weather system. Much colder air is wrapping around the backside of this, so that will eventually, as time goes on this morning, move in and bring in that better chance for that widespread snow at a colder atmosphere as well. So looking at that back in St. Louis, they're really getting it right now, Chuck.
Yeah, they sure are. And we're going to see these snowflakes continue to fall and increase in the intensity as these temperatures drop in between, let's say, 8 and 11, especially. South Johnson County, we're along for the ride on US 31 right now. But some of you now are seeing more heavier snow. This is 70 and 39, so that Monrovia exit over by the truck stops. This is coming down a little bit harder. Same for Cloverdale, hitting the lens there. This is Bloomington now, and I-69 starting to get covered again with some snow. This is 465 and US 31, so you Carmelites are seeing a little bit more snow at this hour. Now, as we've been mentioning, the second phase of this is from the latter part of the morning rush hour to lunchtime. So we're still maybe a couple hours away from that, with some heavy pockets of snow just about everywhere. During that snow, though, because the roads have been treated and many of you have been above freezing, we're looking for slushy and wet roads. However, some of these county roads, side roads, could be flat out nasty with accumulating snow later today. Here's the winter storm warning until 7 p.m. If you're watching us, for the most part, you are under that. Now, we're expecting heavy snow at times later on this morning. I do understand some of you, Greensburg, portions of Putnam County have already had heavy snow. Some of you now with 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground. Here in the metro area, that's not been our story. Our story is wet roads and then this snow, a lot of which is gathering on grass but melting on impact. Those temperatures, again, important. And that's why at 9 o'clock this morning, we could see this stuff really increase both in intensity and the area of coverage. Also notice where it's a little bit warmer, Columbus and Seymour, you guys are seeing snow and rain mix. Let's take you to lunchtime. This is high noon, and again, we've got the snow that's falling out there. Let's take you to 2 o'clock this afternoon. All of this starts to decrease in intensity. I think the evening rush hour, yes, we could see some snow, but I don't think it will be bad, not like 8 to 11. And a reminder, some of you who just got up and you've got kiddos, you may have to plan for some short-term childcare today because many schools are on e-learning. They're crawling down there at the bottom of your screen. Speedway, we understand that's the newest one to come in as closed today. So the winter storm, 5 inches plus for most of you, 33 today. We could see another half an inch to an inch of snow tomorrow at 32. Friday, 34. The weekend, just about all, if not all of this does melt, even though we could see a little rain on Sunday.